I'm hoping that we are live today. How you all doing today? This is Choya Wise. I am bringing to you today. Oh man, supervision. I'm bringing it to y'all today. This week in supervision, and I'm hoping my technology is going to work for me today, so I don't have to do this twice. I'm trying to stream this in a couple different places, but we had some fire sessions this week. I want to jump right into it. Only got a few minutes. I need to be done by 2 in 10 minutes. Okay, 2:15. All right. So what we're gonna talk about, y'all, is cognitive distortions. This is what we talked about this week, cognitive distortions, and from the standpoint of using technique with individuals who may have beliefs about their situations, things that have happened to them that need to be changed. How do we, okay, so what's the example for, and this is how you need to and again, this group, why I have this is I have this set up because I'm trying to help individuals who have come out of our supervision program that are looking to understand how to run their groups, looking for subjects to run their groups. I'm also trying to appeal to other clinicians that are interested in different techniques or ways of looking at providing psychotherapy. And so this is why I bring this, right? This is why I bring this. And so also, let me just go on and share real quick. We do have a supervisor training coming up for those Alabama social workers looking to be supervisors. We got that going on September 25th, so we would love to see you there. Come and join us if you can. All right, let's go on and get into what we need to talk about today. And we're talking about cognitive distortions, right? And so the way that I brought this to the group was to talk to them a little bit. I like to ask compelling questions, and that's how you a lot of times are able to keep a group stimulated, motivated, and engaged in the conversation. And so what I started off the group was asking them is, do you know what a cognitive distortion is, right? Give me the definition of a cognitive distortion. Can you give me some examples of a cognitive distortion? And what is the primary goal that we want to experience? What's the goal that we want to experience while working with clients that have cognitive distortions, right? And cognitive distortions is basically we're believing lies, okay? We're basically believing lies. And so, what might be a cognitive distortion or a belief that is established as a result of someone getting maybe physically abused or starved for throughout their childhood, where they received abuse in that way. Someone who is abandoned by their parents. Think about it. What type of belief many times is established as a result of that? These are where our cognitive distortions sit in. Someone who was sexually abused. What type of cognitive distortion might come about as a result of that? And what techniques do you as therapists use to dismiss those or get rid of them or help the client to work through those cognitive distortions, those lies, and so that they can live a freer life with new truths about themselves that many times they have never discovered because they carried these things their whole entire life. They carried these lies their whole entire life. So what I like to do to spice it up, and these are some of the questions I ask them. So you'll ask these questions and get feedback from the group. That'll take up a good bit of time. Before you know it, time is just moving, and you don't have enough time to cover everything. So what I like to do many times is bring examples of this after I have challenged them with these questions. Sometimes I'll bring a video. I started off first with a video and then ask them to solve it, or I'll bring up a scenario and then use a video to support what I'm saying. And so this time I want to show you all something that was very deep, and we're going. I always say we're going to try to keep it brief, but we'll see what happens. Look, we got something to show y'all because I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with Mel Robbins. All right. Mel Robbins, she is an awesome, motivational speaker, coach. She talks a lot about anxiety and things that a lot of therapists would be talking about. But she had on her program, check her out. She had on her program Dr. Thelma Bryant. And Dr. Thelma Bryant is the president of the American Psychological Association, right? And Dr. Thelma Bryant broke down this technique on how you would approach a cognitive distortion. An example that we're using today is for someone who has a cognitive distortion about being sexually abused, right? What might be, and think about that, what might be a common cognitive distortion that someone might have that has been sexually abused? This is what we're trying to treat with our clients. This is what we're trying to dismiss. And she's going to introduce a technique that I often use that is very, very sound, very important for you to maybe implement into your practice. And so I want to share that with you. I'm hoping that we've got the sound going and everything. We're going to go for it. So check this out. Check this out. This is worth watching.
Wait, I have so much evidence that it's possible. It's both spiritual and I could argue the case.
Yes, yes.
But for somebody who is sitting in the disbelief, how do you cross over to belief?
Yeah. So it's a couple of levels. One of them is to get people to reflect on what do they believe all human beings deserve.
Well, I believe I'm a chicken.
Right.
And all I see are chickens.
Well,
and I believe I'm on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like we go back to this. How do you possibly convince yourself that you could be an eagle if you've never seen one?
Yes, yes. So what we connect with is disrupting what we call the cognitive distortions. So it's not
That's
just...
That's a big word.
Yes,
what is cognitive distortion?
So your false thoughts, the lies.
Okay.
The lies you told yourself and the lies other people told you.
What if...
Well, let me give you an example.
Okay, please.
Of the lies. So for people who were molested,
yes,
they either were told directly or indirectly that that is their fault, right? That it's because they developed early, or it's because they shouldn't have been over there, or whatever it is, that somehow that's on you. And so we have to demonstrate that that is a lie. So how do I demonstrate that that is a lie?
Here's a technique.
Does every girl who develops breast early deserve to be molested?
Of course not.
So you are not an exception to that rule.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay. That was the technique right there. I'm telling y'all, I use this with so much. Like, because a lot of times the client has never even thought that maybe other people, you know, they're never thought outside of the box concerning this situation. They've never been asked that question. They have just accepted a belief that this is what happened, it's my fault, and that's the end of the story. All right. And so when I'm gonna back that up again, I get geeked out about this, y'all. I gotta back that up. Let me see.
And so we have to demonstrate that that is a lie. So how do I demonstrate?
Demonstrating the lie. Focus on the lie.
Does every girl who develops breast early deserve to be molested?
Man, because I thought that this was supposed to happen to me. I thought that I set this up. I thought that there was probably perhaps something that I could have done to alleviate this possibility of this happening. This is often what you will experience and see with clients. And what you will also see is that many times this type of thinking that they have had, that they've experienced as a result of the trauma, it has transferred into other situations as well. So let's just say that they're in a relationship. It always shows up in romantic relationships. And let's just say that something is going wrong in the relationship. So commonly you will see with individuals that have this way of thinking that they are thinking that somehow it is their fault. Anything, he's cheating on me, or she's cheating on me, it's my fault. I'm getting beat, it's my fault. You're really rude and unkind to me, it's my fault, because they have been programmed to think that way, many times because of the trauma. But now what I see a lot of times, that in many situations, it even goes beyond the trauma, the noted trauma. It goes also into the parenting and the style of parenting that they have received, where these types of sentiments were projected, that somehow I'm not enough, somehow things are my fault, somehow, so that's a whole nother thing. I want to play a little bit more, because she's going to make this mic drop, and I want y'all to hear this. All right.
Of course not.
So you are not an exception to that rule.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I can see another lie because I'm
sorry. Sometimes I will ask the client because I'm sometimes a little more client-centered. I might say, well, what makes you an exception to that rule? Because I'm allowing them to figure things out on their own instead of me telling them that you're not an exception. But both ways work. All right.
a survivor of that kind of abuse.
Yeah.
It's the shh. Don't tell anyone or you'll get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I learned about that, I say from my own journey, is I was taught that keeping quiet kept the peace until I realized whose peace is it keeping?
Woo!
Oh.
Right? The offender's at peace. The people who don't want to deal with it at peace. And I, in this little body, am holding all of the war. So I don't want to hold it anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, this is what we're taught. You're going to upset things. You're going to upset people. Nobody wants to hear that. And yeah, there's no peace.
Whose peace are you
And
keeping?
we got to stop it. We got to stop it. I got to go pick up my daughter. But look, this is the technique. Yo, I think I'm streaming on Facebook. Everything is working out good so far today. Anyway, so whose peace am I keeping? Like, I love to go over that with my clients to try to identify whose peace am I keeping, because so much of their life is not involving peace. So much of their life, the people that have harmed them, that have abused them, they're going around living their life smiling and so happy and acting like nothing happened. But here it is, I'm being ate up. It's impacting my relationships because I don't trust people. I'm not attaching in relationships. I'm not able to feel confident to move on in my career and things like that. Why? Because I have the weight that things were my fault. I cause things to happen to me all the time. I'm a problem for people, and it hasn't been processed just through a simple technique like that, leading you to help the client to process that perhaps maybe it wasn't your fault. Perhaps maybe let's look at something else that might be the cause and a reason. A more positive possible alternative is another technique that I'll use many times, but I love this one. Man, I gotta go. I'm sorry, I get geeked out on this. I'm going to keep trying to bring this as much as I can each week. And so I want you to, I hope you learned something. I'm going to go on and close out for today, but I'll try to put the link. You should watch that whole interview. I'm going to try to put the link in the chat and what have you. I hope that this has been helpful. Hope to see you again next week. Y'all take care and have a blessed one. Bye-bye.